Hey, how's everyone doing today? This is JJ Domination, and today we're going to be doing a Madden 18 video. It's going to be gameplay, but instead of talking about Madden 19 and like the ratings and things I like and dislike, we're going to be talking about the 2018 to 2019 NFL season. And today we're going to start with the Los Angeles Rams. Now, this isn't the updated roster, so you're not going to see a lot of the big time players they got. However, I'm just going to show you some gameplay with like Jared Goff, Todd Gurley in the practice mode, just talking, sitting back, chilling. But before I get into it, I just want to thank you guys for the early support. Like I said, this hasn't gone the way I expected it to. I just needed to put some videos up because it's been urging. I've been urging to do it. It's been itching for me to do it. And I'm trying to get my Elgato and everything set up. It should be done this weekend. Don't knock on wood. You know, just knock on wood. Hopefully it gets done. And yeah, then I'll be making better quality videos. But before I ramble on too long, you guys just like, subscribe, comment any future video ideas down below, share the video, get eyes on the product. You know the deal, guys. Thank you for the early support. Now, the title of this video is going to be will the Rams go to the Super Bowl? And I'm gonna argue for both sides pretty much, and I'm also gonna talk about this roster a bit. So, this roster is a pretty damn good one. Look at it like Ultimate Team, because this team has a lot of All-Pros, a lot of Pro Bowlers, but also a lot of guys on one-year contracts, and there's not enough money to float around in today's league. So, damn, that was a bad throw. Jared Goff, come on, dude. So, I'm just going to name some of the players that are on one-year deals, some of the marquee names on one-year deals. Todd Gurley, Aaron Donald, Ndamukong Suh, Aqib Talib, Marcus Peters, LaMarcus Joyner. Yeah, that's literally 6 of their top 10 players. So, those are all guys you have to pay in the future. But obviously this video is not about the future. This video is about this upcoming year. And I'm going to talk about the roster. So Sean McVay came to this team last year and he worked his magic. I mean, he made Jared Goff like $1 million. Todd Gurley was an MVP candidate. And receivers like Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods were able to have some of the best games possible for their careers. Especially for Cooper Kupp, considering he is a rookie entering in as a sophomore. Sammy Watkins obviously isn't here, so I'm not going to touch on him too much. I just feel like something was missing with him being on this roster. The offensive line wasn't too bad. Yeah, it could use some work. But with a Pro Bowl left tackle, unfortunately he is on the older side, Andrew Whitworth. He has been solid for them. And also veteran center John Sullivan. He's on the older side as well. Really good center, though. And then we get to the defense. Obviously, Aaron Donald and Michael Brockers have been holding it down along with Ethan Westbrooks. And then Mark Barron has been captain in that linebacker core. Then, you know, we have LaMarcus Joyner and John Johnson III, who have been doing their thing as well in the secondary. But now this roster is much changed. You take out Tremaine Johnson and you put in Marcus Peters and Aqib Talib. What the hell did they just do? They assembled probably another good cornerback tandem for the future. I mean, everyone talks about, you know, AJ Boye and Jalen Ramsey. I think these guys right here, Talib and Peters, probably a more physical version of those two. I'm not saying they're a better version, but definitely a more physical. They're willing to play press coverage a lot more, where I think Boye and Ramsey really thrive in man coverage. I'm excited to see what Talib and Peters can do. You know, they're so used to being opponents, now they're going to be teammates. Like, who would have thought? And it's really interesting as well because they both have similar styles. They're both aggressive. They always have a nose for the ball. They're just everywhere, man. And that's what you want out of your players who play in the secondary. Guys who can just lock down, make plays on the football. That's exactly what you're looking for in an average, or not average, but in today's NFL. Now let's go down to that defensive line. Just when you thought Aaron Donald was a handful, these guys go out and get an Ndamukong Suh on a 1-year deal. Now I know that's probably the only year he's gonna spend there, But just imagine if they're able to keep him and keep him paired up with Aaron Donald. That is going to be the deadliest 1-2 punch in the NFL in terms of D-line play, especially in the 3-4, because you got to see those guys all the time. I doubt they sub out, and if they're not in the game, it's because they're hurt. I mean, let's just be real. That is a scary tandem. And Ndamukong Suh is a force to be reckoned with. Yeah, he's slightly declining, but he's still an all-pro player at the end of the day. And then you have Aaron Donald, who's a freak of nature. It takes a triple team to keep this guy at least 3 feet away from your quarterback. I mean, dude's just a mismatch from hell. He's a nightmare. Unfortunately, the weakness with this defense is the linebacking core. They traded Alec Ogletree to the New York Giants. Connor Barwin, I think, is just a free agent. I don't think he's been picked up or re-signed. And then Mark Barron. Mark Barron, he's still there, but that's about it, man. That's your linebacking core right there. It's just Mark Barron. So that's the main weakness. So against the run, I don't know how it's going to be. Obviously, if they somehow get past Suh and Donald, they're going to have to meet those trash linebackers. And then they're just going to be gone from there unless John Johnson and LaMarcus Joyner can continue to make plays. So, this defense on paper is really good, even with trash linebackers. Even with linebackers who aren't really average or decent. I mean, they have Mark Barron. I think he's a solid linebacker. But other than that, who do they have, right? And then on offense, they're going to have the same formula. Todd Gurley, Jared Goff, Robert Woods, Cooper Kupp. With Sammy Watkins gone, they traded for Brandon Cooks. I didn't even talk about Brandon Cooks. That's how stacked this team is. I haven't even gotten to Brandon Cooks yet. Like, that's how stacked the damn team is. Yeah, they traded with the Patriots. They traded their first-round pick for Brandon Cooks, and I think they got a third out of it, and I think they gave up a fifth as well. So a solid trade right there. They get Brandon Cooks, a deep threat. Him and Tyreek Hill, the two deep threats of the NFL. They're able to get their hands on one. And I can't wait to see how Sean McVay uses Brandon Cooks. I hope we get to see him on reverses. If Sean McVay is able to pull out the Wildcat formation, I want to see Brandon Cooks getting that ball. Straight up. I'm excited to see what Sean McVay does with the offense. It's all going to be great. And you better believe this Rams team is going to the playoffs next year. But will they go to the Super Bowl? I don't know, man. That's a tough one. I'm going to say no, they won't. The NFC is just too competitive. And you got teams like the Eagles, the Falcons, maybe the Packers if they can stay healthy. I mean, that'd be nice. You know, can they stay healthy? I don't know, man. And then the Vikings, man. They have a solid defense. They get Kirk Cousins. They bring in Sheldon Richardson, who's just going to add more depth to the D-line, by the way. And then you got to keep in mind New Orleans, man. Drew Brees, when he's in the playoffs, he's a madman. He can do anything he wants to opposing defenses. So you got to keep that all in mind as well. It's going to be an insane year. I don't think they'll make the playoffs, though. Or not the playoffs. I don't think they'll make the Super Bowl. It's just tough, man. It's going to be tough for the Rams to get there. They're not necessarily inexperienced because they got there last year. And they're bringing in some veterans who have played in Super Bowls like Aqib Talib. However, I just don't see them going. I think the farthest they can go is the NFC Championship. I don't see them going any farther than that, simply because of the talent in the NFC. Now, could they go to a Super Bowl? Absolutely. They could prove me wrong. They can get a lighter schedule, face teams who match up against them favorably, and they can win. But the thing about the NFC is there's really no teams who match up favorably at this point, because a lot of these teams are going to be really good. There's 10 teams who could potentially make the playoffs next year. Potentially. I'm not saying, obviously, all 10 of them can't. But I'm just saying potentially. 10 have a good shot. So with that being said, I don't see them making the Super Bowl. But they'll definitely be in the playoffs, and they're definitely going to be a contender this year. Now, as for the long term, I don't know. We can do a video on that separately. But for now, I just really wanted to go over that stuff with you. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, share the video. Leave some feedback in the comments, man. I like it when people are just kind of talking back, letting their voices be heard. Like, that's much appreciated around here, and we want your feedback. We being like the other people who watch, and myself, of course. And don't forget to check out my last Madden video. I talk about the EA ratings and like how I would do them and how EA does them, assumingly how they do them anyway. But anywho, you guys enjoy. Have a good night, and peace. Let me just run this ball real quick, and